Okay guys, let's talk about Lil Darkie, and honestly at this point he doesn't even really need an introduction because most of you are thinking, why haven't you covered him before? He's one of the big three when it comes to trap metal. He has this little animated character that's pretty well known all through the rap game. He's been cancelled more than once. He's got a very interesting story and a very interesting come up, and there's no reason not to talk about him. That's what I'm gonna do when we look into the story, the come up, the life, and everything else to do with the man himself, Lil Darkie. Joshua Jolin Hamilton was born October 6, 1998 in Long Beach, California, to an Indian mother and a white father. His home life was pretty regular growing up, with his mother sticking more closely to the Indian customs and his father just being a little bit more lax, playing a lot of Bob Marley and classic rock. But Darkie wasn't all that interested in music at the time. He would rather draw, create his own characters, make up scenarios in his head, because overall he was a pretty imaginative kid, which would help him out a lot in later life. But on top of drawing and being creative in that way, he would often make home videos, so by the time that he got to school, he was hoping that his teachers would help to cultivate his videographer skills, which they actually did. They put some resources into him, but after he started to get into trouble, everything changed. But don't think that Darkie was this walking embodiment of chaos from a young age, because he was actually pretty reserved as a kid. The only reason that he really started to lash out is because he started to get horrendously bullied. And that was all because of the color of his skin, which is kind of surprising. You would think California would be a little bit more diverse when it came to their high schools, but apparently it was because he was Indian, but he didn't really act like a stereotypical Indian, so they would often call him a sand nipple, but they didn't say nipple. But the insult that stuck with him the most is when they would call him a Darkie, which at first he really hated, but after a while, as you know, would become his actual rap name when he was able to embrace that side of him. But after he lashed out one time and fought back, he ended up getting all of his resources pulled away from his videography, so he decided to full on drop out of school because he realized he could do everything on his own and he didn't really need the school system that was, in his own words, being kind of racist to him. Around the age of 16 when he dropped out, it was 2014, and he really started to take a liking to Odd Future, Tyler the Creator, Earl Sweatshirt. He was kind of a late adopter of all of them, but he really liked the way that they were all kind of weirdos that stood out, but they were still making rap music and doing it in a way that he had never seen before. So when he started to rap under the alias of Brahman, and he actually had a character right from the start. It was this little blue scribble which was supposed to represent the Hindu gods that he had looked up to during his childhood, but after he found out that the Hindu gods were actually not blue and that was an Americanization of the character, he decided to change it to black. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. The first song we have from that era is known as Big Top, which is actually a leaked song that was found on Darkie's old laptop, so we're not sure if it was ever dropped, but when you listen to it, it's a little bit more moody and ambient than the usual Darkie stuff we'd later become accustomed to.
Yo, here's a card, I got tickets for sale, come in hard, like the bass guitar, shooting star in the off notes.
Around the same time Darkie would find a job, or I guess Brahman would find a job. He seems to be a little bit particular about what you call him depending on what era you're referring to, but most people know him as Darkie, so that's what I'm pretty well going to call him throughout this video. But either way, he ended up working at Taco Bell, which definitely wasn't the best job, but the one upside to it is that he met another artist known as Zayd, and together they made a diss track on their at the time manager known as Barbara, and the diss track was called Fuck Barbara. I have to say that's a pretty ballsy move, but the diss track actually had a different name for Zayd. He just called himself Disgruntled Taco Bell Employee or something like that, so he wasn't able to go full in on her, but the track is pretty funny no matter what. After that, Brahman would drop his first mixtape called These Days on Bandcamp and SoundCloud, and it's kind of funny to think that at the time in 2014, both of these platforms seemed equally as viable, but SoundCloud went on to become really popular and Bandcamp basically got left in the dust. After that, in 2016, he dropped the C Era EP, which had a couple tracks called Black Era Trump and Global Warming, where you can really start to see that Darkie was becoming a little bit more edgier, a little bit more politically aware, I guess you can say, although I don't think he was doing this for political reasons. It was probably just to get attention. And around the same time, he joined a group known as Native Cruise Records, which I'm not really sure if it was an actual record company. It seems to be like Xanakin with Boom Media. It's something that his friends put together to try to release his music in a more professional way, but it's not really a real record company. And soon after that, he would drop a collaboration EP with an artist known as Moonchild, which at this point seems to be lost, so we can't really listen to what it would sound like. But it is interesting to note that Darkie had that collaboration effort even early on, because as we all know, he would later join Spider Gang, which was full of a bunch of producers and rappers that he would work alongside of. So it seems like to Darkie, making music has always been a group effort and not something he wants to do completely on his own, which I definitely respect, because that's kind of how the underground was formed up in the first place. All these artists working together, doing collaboration tracks, doing shows together. But nowadays it seems like people don't like to work together as much anymore. They rather be a solo mysterious artist, and that's probably why the underground's dying. But let's not get off topic, let's get back to Darkie. For the next couple years he kept dropping music under the Brahman name, trying his best to keep it light and positive, because he felt like if he was aggressive in his music he'd be bringing a negative impact to the world, and he didn't want to do that. But on the inside he was definitely still tortured and feeling kind of bad about all the bullying and outcasting he had felt throughout his life. He ended up dropping about 7 projects under that name, starting with First of Many and ending with Darkie's Armored Elephant when he fully went into that Darkie character. But the reason that Darkie looks so much different on this album cover is because he was actually trying to draw Brahman, name, but he messed up and decided to dark out the whole character, and after that he really liked the look of it and decided to run with it. I believe the Darkie character was supposed to be a one-time thing, but after he went on a particularly meaningful acid trip, he looked at himself in the mirror and all the color drained from his face and he looked like a complete Darkie, so he decided to embrace that name that people had called him all his life to bully him and take it on as his actual rap persona. Don't do acid, kids. You're not going to get a cool villain origin story from doing it. You're just going to end up fried on the side of the road just kind of babbling and going blah, 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 blah. Yeah, a lot of these artists do acid and it makes them really, really annoying to deal with, so stay away from this stuff unless you have reasons to do so. Soon after that, he started working with a producer known as Faded Hippie, who's now known as Lil Cubanesses. I think that's how you say it. It's a type of mushroom that he's named after, and the two of them became the founding members of Spider Gang. Soon after that, Darkie would drop No Hands, his first real aggressive track, and funnily enough, he would actually pay Lil Ominous to promote this, and it's kind of weird because Lil Ominous is Pump's cousin, and he's also worked with Burn Kaz in the past, so everything's connected, it's all together. There's 7 degrees of Lil Darkie. Now keep in mind this happened around 2018, which was kind of a transitional period for the underground because most of the big stars like X, 6ix9ine, and all those guys ended up blowing up into the big time and left the underground behind. Meanwhile, you had people like Zilla who were on the come up. A lot of those classic shows weren't really happening anymore because everybody was focused on clout, so you wouldn't get Suicide Boys alongside Ghostmane, alongside Schema Posse, and a bunch of other random people that had to be people with big names together, so Darkie was left in kind of a weird spot. And trap metal as a whole was really starting to be seen as a gimmick because X ended up leaving it behind, and a lot of people only associate trap metal with X, even though he didn't really make trap metal, he made more distorted type music. So Darkie was left trying to create kind of a dead genre in an underground that wasn't that connected anymore, with a very controversial character who a lot of people thought was a racist depiction of a black person, so he definitely had an uphill battle. But there was one plus side, because this was before 2020 when everybody wanted to cancel everything. All the TikTok kids got online and started to try to dictate culture, so he was able to really play into that more grotesque, edgy part of the internet that still existed at that point, and it worked well. We started to get tracks like Hash Slinging Slasher, which is really hard to say, Bong Rip, and Coke Nails, not to be confused with the Lil Peep song by the same name, where Cubanesses actually rapped for the first time. Surprisingly, it started to take off. I'm not really sure if it was because the artwork was interesting, because the screaming style that he was employing was different than everybody else, but either way, all he was really doing was sharing his music on Instagram, and they started to get 10,000 views, followed by 20,000, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger. Soon after that, he would meet the producer Wendigo, who made some of his most iconic tracks. We got the track Get a Stick, we got the track Talk Shit, we got the track Big Licks. It's kind of funny how they all rhyme with each other, but either way, they were getting bigger and bigger, eventually getting 40,000 plays on SoundCloud. After that, he dropped the project Clip Yourself, but he didn't say clip if you catch my drift, can't really say that on YouTube, but it was a project talking about how he felt as a kid and how at one point he actually thought about ending his own life. And this was a pretty interesting project because most people who felt depressed and wanted to talk about their childhood and their music were more emo rappers who would go on and on about how sad they felt, but Darkie was more aggressive and angry about it, which I feel like a lot of people can really attach onto. Because in the modern world, a lot of people say that men should show more emotion, they should cry more, be more vulnerable, which definitely is a good message, but at the same time, most men don't really show emotion through crying and being sad, they show emotion through getting angry. But when most men show that side of themselves where they really get mad, women will get scared, other people will say you're showing too much emotion, you're not controlling yourself, so there's no real outlet for people to get angry, so listening to music like this is extremely cathartic for most of the population. After that, he would drop the project Shoot People You Don't Like, which included the first feature from Bro My God, not to be confused with Brahman. I'm not really sure why they have such similar names, but he would join Spider Gang not long after that. But I should mention the actual origins of the name Spider Gang came from a shroom trip that Darkie went on with another member of the group known as Stone Man, where they decided that the gods wanted them to be spiders, so they named their group Spider Gang. Yeah, kind of weird, but once again, you can see that acid and shrooms are playing a big part in this whole story. Soon after that, the track Get a Stick would drop on the channel Void Tracks, which is kind of similar to a Troll Funk or Trash AMV, which ended up getting the track a lot more plays, and soon after that, he dropped his track Is type beat. Not sure if I can really say the real name of it, but as you can see, it's a very controversial track that got a lot of people upset, but either way, it worked out because it ended up getting like 7 million plays on SoundCloud. After that, he would drop a track called Kill All Aliens with Black, and then after that, he dropped another big track with 83 Hades, who used to be a really big figure in the underground, nowadays less so, but he's definitely still relevant. And finally ended off the year by dropping his project Drain the Swamp, which included one track called Posted in the Dark that went on to get a music video on Hive Mind. If you didn't know, after Lyrical Lemonade and No Jumper went on to abandon the underground, there was a power vacuum left behind where a lot of channels wanted to do the same thing that they did, but for the underground, since they were only working with mainstream artists now, and Hive Mind was one of them, as well as cult classic, I guess you can say, but Hive Mind was definitely a lot more relevant. They're really helping to put on a lot of artists like Josiah early on, as well as Suicide Rascal, who never really became big, but he's definitely still a known name in the underground, as well as the artist Flacco, who had previously worked with the group known as Nocturnal, which was him and his buddy Edison, and together they would form up with Darkie and his buddy Wendigo to make the new group known as Gunk Rock. Spider Gang definitely still existed at this point, but Gunk Rock was made to be kind of a different project where it was more punk influenced and less rap. And Hive Mind ended up hosting the first and only Gunk Rock tour, which included all the members of Gunk Rock alongside Suicide Rascal, but unfortunately this tour didn't go very well. Sure, the shows were good, the venues were great, but the actual members on tour did not get along. Suicide Rascal for some reason was left at the apartment most times to eat beefaroni, while the actual members of Gunk Rock ended up eating at fancy restaurants. Riley and Darkie did not get along at all because of political reasons. And worst of all, Flacco ended up saying the hard R N-word on a phone call with Suicide Rascal, which he definitely took to heart, going on Instagram to tell everybody that Flacco was racist.
I ain't got no problems with Spider Gang specifically, but I cannot support them because they support like Flacco said to me, or not to me, Flacco said to one of my niggas while he was on speakerphone, not knowing I was in the room, I don't talk to you know that. And bruh just left sap. Ain't never hear no apology or no shit like that.
Darkie ended up taking Flacco's side, Riley ended up taking Suicide Rascal's side, and then Darkie would ask for the music video for Doorstop to be taken off the channel, and Riley refused, which honestly I definitely got to take Riley's side on this one. I understand why Darkie's upset, he doesn't want to work with Suicide Rascal anymore, but covering up the past is never the way to do it. Not to mention that Hive Mind was literally shooting these music videos for free, and then you want it taken down when you didn't give them any money. Definitely a lame move there, but it's probably for the best that Hive Mind and Lil Darkie stopped working together altogether. But as far as Gunk Rock goes, they ended up dropping about 30 songs throughout their entire discography. They did a whole album together, and they even did an interview on Cult Classic, but they eventually decided to go their separate ways. Well, not really, because Edison and Flacco ended up joining Spider Gang, so nothing really changed besides the fact that Gunk Rock was retired. After that, he ended up working alongside the upcoming rap group known as Kids Next Door, which if you don't know, that's where Dirty Butt came from, and that group definitely fell apart for the weirdest reasons ever. It's kind of dark, maybe I'll cover that a little bit later on. He ended up including a couple more members into Spider Gang, including Christ Dillinger, Hood Rich Goth Boys, as well as Corpse of Anti-World, which if you don't know, that was Syringe's group before it fell apart. And if you don't know the group Hood Rich Goth Boys, I don't know what you've been doing, you must be living under a rock, but no, for real, you're probably in the majority, because that was Lil Slump's group with Christ Dillinger and Swami Ayuchi, and just like everything else that Lil Slump is involved in, it ended up falling apart, and it doesn't really mean that much to the grander scheme of the rap game, but it is interesting. In the new year, Darkie ended up dropping a project called Super Dark VR and collabing with Zodiac of Midnight Society. He had a track with Zamman, which is definitely a random collaboration. Sos Mula also randomly collaborated with Zamman. Not sure why he's so popular in the underground scene, but hey, whatever, it is what it is. He dropped another project called Swamp Drain, which included a feature from Brahman, not Brahman God, but Brahman, the original blue guy. So it seems like he's still willing to use him in some way, even though for the most part he wants that persona to die off. So at this point, Darkie was already a mainstay in the underground scene, with Spider Gang taking over with non-stop music videos, they were doing shows, but they were about to get bigger than they ever were before. Because Darkie would drop 2 solo songs called Haha and Genocide, as well as the group dropping a track called Meth Head Freestyle. Meth Head Freestyle ended up going crazy on YouTube with a lot of people reacting to it, and the other 2 songs ended up picking up steam on TikTok. And honestly, Darkie didn't really like this because he never wanted his music to be palatable to the mainstream, but at the same time it was getting him a lot more numbers, but on the downside of things, he was getting eyes from people who would seek to cancel him for his bad imagery, violent lyrics, and just for fun basically. People like to cancel people for fun. He didn't really do himself any favors because he ended up dropping a song that had a swastika on the front of it. It was meant to be the Buddhist swastika, so it wasn't supposed to be an edgy Nazi symbol, but at the same time, people didn't take it too well and he had to change the art a little bit later on. To be honest with you, all this really boiled down to was a bunch of people on Twitter getting upset. At one point, Darkie's Instagram got taken down, and besides that, it didn't really affect his career in any way. I mean, yeah, Darkie is probably never going to be able to be signed to a label just because his image is so edgy, but at the same time, I don't think he really cares about that. He's making enough money on his own, he's working with different people, and he has a really solid and strong fan base that's growing by the day, so he doesn't care about getting canceled. And soon after that, he ended up dropping a couple animated music videos for his tracks AMV and rap music, which is kind of amazing when you think about it, because I feel like animation costs a lot of money and he's doing it all on his own, so that's super cool. Not to mention that people on YouTube are definitely picking these up and sharing them through Reels and TikTok, so once again, he's blowing up in that way. Darkie's now getting to the point where his animated character is actually eclipsing his entire career, because a lot of people who aren't tapped into the underground or even listen to trap metal at all know who he is just based off the character, so it's good and bad. bad, I guess, but mostly good. He ended up dropping 3 projects in 2020 called Yin, This Does Not Exist, and Swamp. He's really obsessed with the Swamp for some reason, but either way, This Does Not Exist is definitely my favorite out of his entire catalog. It's a really good mix of trap metal songs with more downtrodden music, and by the time you're done listening to it, you almost feel like you went through a trip of your own. I don't care if that's corny, that's just how it makes me feel, and after that, I was definitely a fan. He would also drop 3 projects with Spider Gang called We Are Behind an Object, Baby Pelican, and Spider Gang Is Over, with, of course, rumors that Spider Gang is over, but Spider Gang's kind of weird. I think it's mostly an online collective where some members play together, but overall it's not really a tight-knit group like City Morgue. There's so many members coming in and out at all times that it's hard to keep track of who's even really in the group. I think there might be 13 of them at this point, but don't ask me to name them all because I don't even know if I could do that. Okay, fine. Darkie, A14, Bro My God, Flocko, Edison, Corpse, Chris Dillinger, Lil Cuban Nesses, Jonicus, MK Ultra, Teenage Disaster, Stone Man, Wendigo I guess is included in there. Did I miss any? Didn't even look it up, I just did it off the top of my head, but if you want me to cover more people in the group, I definitely will, because I feel like they're all kind of interesting in their own way, and there's too much to cover in this one Darkie video. Because Darkie's output is so consistent that it's actually hard to put up with it. He's put out countless songs, a bunch of music videos, he has collaboration tracks, he's making albums with different people, he's going to be on Gizmo's new album I believe. He's doing America and Europe-wide tours, so he's definitely a big deal over there as well. He's collabed with people like Scarlord, and just overall, Darkie has never really stopped being consistent, never stopped putting out music, and he even recently blew up again on TikTok with his song Trap Metal. Within the song, he impersonates Scooby-Doo as well as Dale from Over the Hill, which is definitely a creative concept, and it seems like it worked out for him. And even recently, he dropped a track called Humans vs. Monsters, which went viral online once again.
I'm thinking about bars, thinking about buying land for a farm. Big ass shotgun on my arm.
And so as much as they're trying to cancel him, it doesn't seem to be stopping him whatsoever. He keeps blowing up over and over again, getting bigger and bigger, and getting his name more known. At this point, no matter how you feel about Darkie, he's definitely undeniable within the genre. I would consider him one of the big 3 alongside Zillakami and Scarlord, which I definitely have to do a Scarlord video too. I don't know why I haven't done that yet. He's built his entire empire off of just dropping consistent music, working with people, doing collaborations, and sticking close to himself and really being himself, which is something that a lot of artists don't like to do nowadays. They try to play characters or try to play it up in a different way, but that authentic nature to his music really helps him out. Because at this point, when you turn on a Darkie track, you never know what you're gonna get, and I have to say he's come a long way from that poor kid that was getting bullied back in high school, built a whole empire off of being himself and being creative, and I feel like that's very inspiring for a lot of kids who feel like they don't fit in, because you don't have to fit in to be big. You don't have to fit in to really make a difference in the world, and just remember, when you're doing something different, a lot of people are gonna call you corny because they don't understand it, but once it starts to pick up steam and people get on board with it, those same people that try to call you out for being weird and different will be riding your wave. Remember, Lil Peep was an outcast, Ground Millie was an outcast. A lot of these big rappers were outcasts before their time, but once things start to click and make sense, everybody will be on your wave. Be ahead of the trend is never an easy thing to do, but it's worth it to pave your own way, be your own person, and stick to your truth, and that will probably work out for you in the long run as opposed to playing a lame character. Yeah guys, that's the story of Lil Darkie, one of the most prolific members of the underground at this point. Big shout out to him. Hope he's not a weirdo. Never talked to him before, so I'm not giving him my personal endorsement as a person, but his music is definitely good. Tell me who you want to see next. Shout out Knife Gang, leave a knife emoji in the comments below if you're part of the gang, and subscribe to the channel because I'm trying to get to 15k. Also got a second channel where I do interviews and a whole bunch of different stuff, so if you want to keep up with me on the daily, you can go over there. All my links will be in the description in my link tree. For people who stuck around all the way to the end, leave a bunch of pig emojis. The people who left before this point will be super confused. They'll be funny. Come on, that's what it is. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being you. And besides that, peace out.